Hi, this is a walkthrough of the Inner Dimensions Tarot by Ash S.L. Groot Rosync, or Ash Create. Let's get to it. You can get it from makeplayingcards.com. One copy will run you about $46 as of the time that I'm filming this. It doesn't come with any box or any physical guidebook, so this is actually the guidebook that I have on my tablet here. If you just search up Inner Dimensions Tarot Guide, you can access the guidebook for free online. It is on this flip book, so you can just flip through the pages and see the guidebook for free, like so. And if you flip it like a landscape version, you can see 2 pages at once. And of course, you can also look at it on your desktop and on your mobile phone if you'd like as well. I will walk you through the cards so you can see what they're like and get a feel for how this artist chose to design their deck. So first, this is the extra card in the deck. As I delve deeper within the layers of my soul, I become whole again. So the premise or the reason why this deck is named the Inner Dimensions Tarot is because it is meant to help you dive into the dimensions of yourself. The creator is a non-binary person. Their pronouns are they, them. They have chosen to not depict any gender in the cards unless wherever absolutely necessary. The Empress and the Emperor, for example, in the guidebook, they do use she, her pronouns and he, him pronouns, but everybody else, as far as I've seen, they use they, them pronouns. So this is what the guidebook looks like in comparison with the card. We've got the title of the card. We've got a little tagline here. What do you want to start? A little keyword, key phrase associated with this card. A little snippet about the card here. The theme of the card. What do you want to start with? The trusting and free spirit of the Fool. Some upright and reverse keywords. And then the element and astrological associations as well. One more thing about this deck is that the creator did deviate from Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism in quite a few ways. So if you are familiar with Rider-Waite-Smith, you might find this deck a little bit challenging to read and get used to. Otherwise, if you're not tied to the Rider-Waite-Smith, you might enjoy some of the ways that these cards are depicted differently from those other cards. Okay, onto the cards. I will lay them out 3 at a time because this is a different kind of walkthrough. And honestly, we're just looking at the cards real quick here, right? The Fool, Magician, and High Priestess. Empress, Emperor, Hierophant. Lovers, Chariot, Strength. Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Justice. Drowned Man instead of the Hanged Man, Death, Temperance. The Devil, the Tower, the Star. The Moon, the Sun, Judgment, and lastly, the World. So before getting to the suits, as I mentioned, you can see that there are no genders depicted in the cards. There's not even any faces. Well, besides this like half face depicted in the card. Everybody else is depicted either just with their hands or with their lack of faces. The suits in this deck are named by element rather than by suit. So fire instead of wands, water instead of cups, earth instead of pentacles, and air instead of swords. Also, there are alchemical symbols. So here is the alchemical symbol for fire in each of these fire cards. You can see that the cards are pretty minimalist, so there are no titles on the cards. The aces here are named the sources, so this is the source of fire instead of the ace of wands. Then 2 of fire, 3 of fire, 4 of fire, and 5 of fire. As I mentioned, these cards do deviate from traditional Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism. So if you read the guidebook here, you can scroll through the cards that you want to see, and you can get a better understanding of why the creator chose to depict the 5 of fire in this way, for example. So for example, this one says, competition into collaboration. As the fire starts to spread throughout the forest, it consumes whatever it can. As the fire can be destructive to the forest can also work in collaboration with the fire, as it allows for more space to grow and help release seeds onto the soil. A scary yet surprisingly harmonic interaction. So that is the ace through 5 of fire. Here is the 6 through 10 of fire. Here's another example of this deck deviating from traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Typically, the 8 of fire or 8 of wands would look like what is depicted here. If this were to follow traditional tarot symbolism, typically this would be one wand or one comet, kind of facing against all the other comets here. And the 8 of fire, instead of depicting these 7 or 8 wands, things all happening at once, this is a different way of depicting an explosion of energy. And then here are the court cards. You still have the alchemical symbol of fire depicted in each card in this way. The pages are renamed to the students, knights are practitioners, Queens are masters and kings are visionary. And I'll quickly compare the other court cards here. So here's the student of water compared to the student of fire, practitioner of water. So there's focus on the hands here, whereas the students have the focus on the hands as well, just having the thing for the first time. The master of water, so master of water, master of fire here. We've got the triangle face. Sorry, I know that's a symbol. The triangle face, really. With their hands, they're showing their mastery. Then the visionary has the eye symbol around here. So visionary of water, visionary of fire here. The court cards look very, very cohesive. That's one of my favorite things about this deck. So yeah, these are the fire court cards. Moving on to the water suit, we have the Ace through 5 of water, or the Ace through 5 of cups in other tarot decks. Here's the 6 through 10 of water. And here are the water court cards. Student of water, practitioner of water, master of water, got all these really cool waves thrashing all around, and visionary of water. Here is the air suit, so Ace through 5 of air, symbolized by feathers and also some lightning here. Here's the 6 through 10 of air. I'm noticing now that the 6s in this deck actually have a very similar composition. So there's a 6 of air, 6 of water, and here's the 6 of fire. The 6 of earth actually looks very different. 3 cards that look like backgrounds with the things on it just scattered around. The 6 of earth, in contrast, is all these mushrooms huddled together. Here are the air court cards. The student of air. The air here looks kind of like snakes. The practitioner of air, master of air, these really cool lightning bolts happening, and the visionary of air with these peacock feathers. Here is the Ace through 5 of earth. Here is the 6 through 10 of earth. And here are the earth court cards. Student of earth, practitioner of earth, master of earth, and visionary of earth. So this is Make Playing Cards cardstock. They do have multiple options. As you might have seen throughout this video, this is pretty glossy, so it really catches the light pretty well, pretty clearly. It also has a linen finish, so these cards are meant to shuffle together really, really well. They're meant to riffle, shuffle super well. Let's take a look. They are really flexible, and the air is just whooshing through them. And of course, they do overhand pretty well as well. And this is standard tarot card size. No smaller, no bigger. So to summarize this deck, this has a very cohesive color palette. The artist did create this for a media design class and then expanded on it some more, kept developing it after their class was over. So from a design standpoint, these cards are very cohesive and they're very appealing to look at. For me personally, I was not able to connect with this deck even after 2 years of having it. I've realized I prefer decks that are more scenic. This is what I would consider like a portrait style deck. I know that portrait style decks are very popular. There's a lot of different kinds of what I consider portrait style decks where it is just depicting like almost a single state or a single moment of something happening. But for me, I do need something that is more scenic, where it seems like it's more of a snapshot in time, a snapshot of motion. These seem very, very design and very aesthetic, but it is not my taste personally. However, someone on a Discord server that I'm in is claiming this, so would like to receive this. So I'm glad that this will go to another home, to someone who can appreciate and work with this much better. I think that the design of the hands in this deck is really cool. I really love when decks have cohesive designs and cohesive themes like this. You can tell that these were all created by the same person, and a lot of intention did go into each of these cards because of the cohesive theme. Yeah, I think that there are a lot of strong points about this deck, and I hope that other people who might see this video are inspired to get this deck if it appeals to you. Let's do a 3-card spread. Let's do within, without, advice. So, within, what's happening within right now. Without, what's happening outside of us. And advice. All right. Within, the 5 of water. Without, outside of us, the magician. And advice, the chariot. Interesting that in this chariot card, there's no person seen holding the reins. It really is focusing on more the energy of the horse Let's look at the guidebook. With this guidebook here, the 5 of water, the key phrase here is appreciate and reflect. That's why we've got all of these little ripples in the water. The journey has reached its first big challenge. Water asks you to appreciate what you have and reflect on what's lost. As the rain falls down, creating pools of water, it's like the sky is crying, grieving perhaps. Some think it's a loss of a beautiful day, but the sight of rain can also be uplifting after drought. Sometimes we can only accept the loss or disappointment. The rain, although inconvenient, will allow the earth the sustenance to grow life, and the pooling water will return to the wells hidden beneath the surface. The earth has found peace with the rain in its own way. Finding peace with the rain in your own way. So that's the key message I'm seeing here from the 5 of water. Finding peace doesn't mean forcing ourselves to be calm and serene. Finding peace can be absorbing these emotions and working with them, integrating them. Now, without what is happening outside of us, we have the magician. Interesting that there is this wisp of something holding the hands together. It almost feels like handcuffs in a way. But we have smoke coming into the fire, or maybe it's coming out of the fire in both directions here. From the guidebook, the key phrase here is, wherein lies your will. As the magician focuses their will into their hands, they are able to manifest a passionate flame. If they lose their focus or will, the results could be catastrophic, but they are a master of their element. They know this. To some, their desire and power of creation may seem like an illusion, but a true magician knows the power of manifestation through will and isn't afraid to use it. In my critical opinion, this is an example of how sometimes tarot guidebooks only focus on or display one aspect of a card, and they don't go much in depth about how this could mean in other contexts. Maybe in our journey of reflection and how things have affected us and what we're feeling, we can also notice the things that other people are doing that we may not have control over. That's probably why I initially noticed that this wisp of smoke looks like handcuffs in a way. It could be representing maybe not our own willpower, but other people's willpowers that affect us and make us feel ways that we don't want to feel. Lastly, the advice here is the Chariot. The tagline here is, are you truly in control? Wow, okay, I was getting control from the Magician and now the Chariot coming up as well. As you hold on tightly to the reins of the horse, you feel in control, running along the way of life in whichever direction you have envisioned. However, are you truly in control here? The reins aren't tight, implying there's a free spirit present, running wild. Or was this meant to be the case? Sometimes the control we think we have isn't really there. Whatever is the case, when the will to get somewhere is strong enough, you will get to where you wish to be. I personally have gripes around the idea of just have stronger willpower to get you to where you need to be. In my opinion, it could be changed to like work smarter, not harder. What are different ways to achieve what you want? So the advice here being, are you truly in control? And with the reins being loose, I'm thinking of we don't have to react or respond the ways that other people think that we should react, or even that we think we should react. Sometimes we think that we need to stay the course no matter what happens, but as we can see, it's okay to reflect on what other people are doing, what else is happening around us, and we can adjust our course if necessary. So that's a quick sample reading from the Inner Dimensions Tarot with referencing the guidebook. So that is a look at the Inner Dimensions Tarot. Let me know what you think. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.